have a lot of games that we're going to be going through this evening. And while we're playing the games, you guys get to choose what your action is. So if you win, if you lose, you can make your friends do jumping jacks, or maybe you're playing a drinking game. They got to drink a nice, yummy beverage. Or maybe the kids got to do push-ups or run around the house, or maybe it's chores. I don't know. You choose the action that you want to just play along with our action games and the rules. So we have some competitions going on during the event. They're time sensitive during each of our events. So let's get a special guest out here now to explain what our first challenge is. So I want you guys to welcome here, back from the dead, Mr. William Shakespeare.
Oh, hello there. I don't know why I sound this way, but I was just dropping in and thought I'd explain a little challenge to you. Your challenge is to recreate a scene from any Shakespeare play out of any materials that you have on hand. We want to see Romeo and Juliet with salt and pepper shakers. We want to see Taming of the Shrew with Barbies. We want to see Midsummer Night's Dream with cats. I love cats. They're so tasty. Simply take a picture of your recreation and then submit it in the comments and reply to the rules before the end of the stream, roughly an hour away to be eligible to win. Casey will be our judge, and you can win a growler with a fill from our very own Vishla Brewery, or a non-alcoholic alternative. If you aren't in Havre and you have no plans to visit here in the near future, then we will bequeath your prize to the next patron at Vishla. So now the rules are posted in the comments. Happy recreation, folks. Can't wait. Can't wait. Well, what do you know? Back from the dead, Mr. William Shakespeare. So let's get started. First up, for you, we have two readers performing segments from the comedies As You Like It and The Twelfth Night. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Chirico. My apology, I didn't get the introduction. It didn't come through. I went to the University of Montana, did some work with Montana's Actors Theater about 7-8 years ago, and now I live in beautiful Los Angeles where it's like 90 degrees and my AC is not working. So, as you, I hope you enjoy a little bit of As You Like It. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cap and lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6 age shifts into lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. And his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends the strange eventful history, is second childish mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Fantastic. My name is Rye Pratt. I'm all the way out here in Colorado, Denver, Colorado to be exact. I used to live up in Havre though, and I used to participate in MAT quite a bit in quite a bit of different factions as well. So I'm here today to do a piece from Twelfth Night, doing the opening monologue by the Duke. So here we go. Oh. Oh, if music be the food of love, play on. Give me excessive extra fight. The appetite may sicken and so die. Oh, that strain again. It had a dying fall. Oh, it came o'er my ear like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets, stealing and giving odor. Enough. No more. 'Tis not so sweet now as it was before. Oh, spirit of love. Oh, how quick and fresh art thou, that notwithstanding thy capacity receiveth as the sea, not enters there of what validity and pitch soever, but falls into abatement of low price even in a minute. Ugh, so full of shapes is fancy that it alone is high fantastical.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome works, guys. Thank you. Paul, thanks for coming all the way here from LA, and Rye from Denver. Cheers. That was cool. All right, folks. Up next, we have four excellent performers coming to you from Montana and Wyoming. Well, let me grab Shakes. Shakes, come on back in here. All right.
Well, good evening again, and thank you for inviting me. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to make your very own impromptu Shakespearean neck ruffle. Look how beautiful mine is. Yes, it's so beautiful. This can be paper. This can also be towels. This can be your little white cat. You have until the end of Grant and Reed's performance to submit a photo of your creation in the comments. Winner receives a growler and from the Old Station Brewery in Havre, Montana. And pay it forward rules apply for anyone winning outside of Havre. Root beer is included. Ready, set, and go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cameron Michael Faring, and I'm coming to you currently from Riverton, Wyoming. I had the pleasure of getting to know MAT in Missoula all the way back in 2009 through the original production of Rocky Horror at the Wilma and through the monthly cabarets that were happening. And I'm really excited to help wish Bill a happy birthday today. So, in that vein, today I will be performing Flavius from Timon of Athens, Act 4, Scene 2. Oh, the fierce wretchedness that glory brings us. Who would not wish to be from wealth exempt, since riches point to misery and contempt? Who would be so mocked with glory, or to live but in a dream of friendship? To have his pomp and all what state compounds, but only painted like his varnished friends. Poor honest lord, brought low by his own heart, undone by goodness. Strange, unusual blood when a man's worst sin is he does too much good. Who then dares to be half so kind again? For bounty that makes gods does still mar men. My dearest lord, blessed to be most accursed, rich only to be wretched, thy great fortunes are made thy chief afflictions. Alas, kind lord, he's flung in rage from this ingrateful seat of monstrous friends, nor has he with him to supply his life, or that which can command it. I'll follow. I'll inquire him out, and I'll ever serve his mind with my best will. Whilst I have gold, I'll be his steward still. Thank you. Happy birthday, Will.
Take two. But hear you, my lord.
Oh, what sayest thou, my lady?
What is it carries you away?
Well, my horse, my love, my horse.
Out, you mad-headed ape! A weasel hath not such a deal of spleen as you are tossed with. In faith, I'll know your business, Harry, that I will. I fear my brother Mortimer doth stir about his title, and hath sent for you to line his enterprise. But if you go...
So far afoot, I shall be weary.
Oh, come, you parakeeto. Answer me directly with this question that I ask. Faith, I'll break thy little finger, Harry, and if thou wilt not tell me all things true.
Way away, you trifler. Love, I love thee not.
Oh!
I care not for thee, Kate. This is no world to play with mammoths and to till with lips. We must have bloody noses and cracked crowns, and past them current too. God's me, my horse. Oh. What sayest thou, Kate? Oh, what would you have of me?
Do you not love me? Do you not indeed? Well, do not then, for since you love me not, I will not love myself. Do you not love me? Nay, tell me if you speak in jest or no.
Oh, come, wilt thou see me ride? When I am a horseback, I will swear I love thee infinitely. But hark you, Kate, I must not have you henceforth question me, whither I go, nor reason whereabout. Whether I must, I must. And to conclude, this evening I must leave you, gentle Kate. Look, I know you wise, but no further wise than Harry Percy's wife. Constant you are, but yet a woman. And for secrecy, no lady closer. For I well believe thou wilt not utter what thou dost not know. And so far, I will trust thee, gentle Kate.
Oh, so far.
And not an inch further. But hark you, Kate, whither I go, hither shall you go. Today I set forth, tomorrow you. Oh. Will this not content you, Kate?
It must, of force.
Why, how now, Dromio? Where runnest thou so fast?
Well, do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass, I am a woman's man, and besides myself.
What woman's man, and how besides thyself?
Marry, sir, besides myself. I am due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such claim as you would lay to your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverent body, aye, such a one as a man may not speak of without saying, Sir, reverence. I have been lean luck in the match, and yet she is a wondrous fat marriage.
How does that mean, a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench and all grease, and I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. If she lives till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, like my shoe, but her face nothing half so clean kept. For why she sweats, a man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
Now, that's a fault that water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in grain. Noah's flood could not do it.
What's her name?
No, sir, but her name and 3/4, that's an L, and an L and 3/4 will not measure her from hip to hip.
Oh, then she bears some breadth.
No longer from head to foot than from hip to hip. She is spherical, like a globe. I could find out countries in her.
And in what part of her body stands Ireland?
Mary in her buttocks. I found her out by the bogs.
Where's Scotland?
I found it by the barrenness, hard in the palm of hand.
Where's France?
In her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her hair.
Where England?
I looked for the chocolate
Casey, I
but
think
could
it's time
find
for you
no
to talk
whiteness
again.
in them, but I guess it stood in her chin by the salt ream that ran between France and it.
Well, there you go.
Where's
How
Spain?
about those
Faith,
guys?
I saw it not, but I felt it on her breath.
Where America? The Indies?
Oh, sir,
Getting all
upon
kind
her
of-
nose, all over embellished with rubies and carbuncles, sapphires, declining the rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armados of carracks to ballast at her nose.
Where stood Belgia? The Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, and swore I was a shorterer, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark on my shoulder, the mole on my neck, the great war on my left arm, that I amazed ran from her as a witch, and I think if my breast had not been made of faith and my heart of steel, she had transformed me into a curtailed dog and made me turn in the wheel.
Go hie thee presently, post to the road, and if the wind blow any way from shore, it will not harbor in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone knows us, ere we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear a man would run for life, so I fly from her that would be my wife.
And what do you say there? We're getting there, aren't we? You know, this live thing, it's just fun. You never know what's going to happen. But here we are, back. Thank you. Thank you for all you performers. Now we're going to have a winner here. And let's see. Let's see. Oh, Glenn, I'm having a hard time understanding which one of these is the winner here of which prize. We got all kinds of them coming up here. So Morgan is helping generate all of our prize. She's monitoring all our comments and things. We want to say big shout out to Morgan. Thank you for that. And so looks like the winner is with her socks and masking tape and a wedding garter is looks like it's Lindsay Ratliff. Is that right? Lindsay Ratliff. Excellent. All you entries out there. Loved it. Up next now, we are spanning the globe. We're headed all the way to a reading in the United Kingdom. So let's go all the way to London.
Hey guys, I'm Tara Zelke, and you may remember me from a few of MAT's productions, Wind in the Willows, Sister Act, and Sweeney Todd. I'm going to be reading from All's Well That Ends Well. I will be the Countess, and I'll be reading from Act 1, Scene 3. Even so it was with me when I was young. If ever we are nature's, these are ours, this thorn. Doth to our rose of youth rightly belong. Our blood to us, this to our blood is born. It is the show and seal of nature's truth, where love's strong passion is impressed in youth by our remembrances of days foregone. Such were our faults, or then we thought them none. Her eye is sick, aunt. I observe her now.
Hi everyone, I'm Debbie Fallon. I'm from Reading in the UK. I go way back to RADA days with the lovely, fabulous Grant. And I also came over to Montana when, back in 2009, I think it was, I directed Someone Who Watched Over Me that Grant performed in. So shout out and hello to anyone that saw that production and might vaguely remember the English girl that came over and did some directing for you guys back all those many moons and many lifetimes ago. Really lovely for Grant to have asked me to do something for you today. I do lots of teaching and directing, not so much acting, so possibly a little bit rusty, so apologies if this is really rubbish. I think he only asked me because he was desperate and I have quite a nice English accent. I am doing a piece from As You Like It, playing Rosalind, Act 3, Scene 5. Here we go. And why, I pray you, who might be your mother, that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched... What? Though you have no beauty? As by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why? What means this? Why do you look at me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, it's my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entain my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain, you are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favoured children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees, and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy. Love him. Take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
Hi there, I'm Sam French. You may have seen me most recently in MAT's most recent production of A Man and Two Governors. I played Pauline. Now please enjoy this monologue from Antony and Cleopatra, Act 4, Scene 15. I'll be reading Cleopatra. No more! But even a woman, and commanded by such poor passion as the maid that milks and does the meanest chores. It were for me to throw my scepter at the injurious gods, to tell them that this world did equal theirs till they had stolen our jewel. Alt but not. Patience is Scottish, and impatience does become a dog that's mad. Then is it sin to rush into the secret house of death, and death dare to come to us? How do you, women? What good cheer? Why, how now, Charmaine? My noble girls, oh, women, look, our lamp is spent, it's out. Good sirs, take heart. We'll bury him. And then what's brave, what's noble? Let's do it after the high Roman fashion, and make death proud to take us. Come away. The case of that huge spirit now is cold. Ah, women, women, come. We have no friend but resolution in the briefest end. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hey, back, everybody. That was pretty sweet. That was awesome. Eventually, we made it to London, came back to the States. That was pretty cool. You never know what's going to happen. We're live. Did I mention that? We're live? First time, unprecedented. Here we go. That was just, I just want to say thanks. This is incredible. It's really fun. It's fun. It's awesome to see all these performers from everywhere doing all these things. Some people I've worked with, some I've only heard about in legends. But hey, look, up next, we have a couple of tragedies. We got a couple of comedies, and we got 5 amazing Montanans. So looks like we're also up for our second lightning round competition of the evening. So let me bring back in Mr. William Shakespeare to explain what things are.
Well, thank you for bringing me back. Your challenge is to make the best portrait of the first performer in this section. So get out your drawing pencils and get ready. You have until the end of Angela and Martin's performance to submit your work in the comments. The winner will receive a growler at Triple Dog Brewing in Havre, Montana, and be able to fill it or use their non-alcoholic alternative. Are you ready? Are you set? Here we go.
Hi, I'm Andy Daniel. I'm the marketing director for MAT, and I'll be reading a piece from Richard II. This is the Duchess of Gloucester. Finds brotherhood in thee no sharper spur? Hath love in thy old blood no living fire? Edward's 7 sons, whereof thyself art one, or as 7 vials of his sacred blood, or 7 fair branches springing from one root. Some of these 7 are dried by nature's course, some of those branches by the destinies cut, but Thomas, my dear lord, my life, my Gloucester, 1 vial full of Edward's sacred blood, 1 flourishing branch of his most royal root is cracked, and all the precious liquor spilt is hacked down, and his summer leaves all faded by envy's hand and murder's bloody axe. Oh, God, his blood was thine, thy bed, that womb, that metal, that self-mold that fashioned thee, made him a man, and though thou liv'st and breathest, yet art thou slain in him. Thou dost consent in some large measure to thy father's death, and that thou seest thy wretched brother die, who was the model of thy father's life. Call it not patience, gone. It is despair. In suffering thus thy brother to be slaughtered, thou showest the naked pathway to thy life, or teaching stern murder how to butcher thee. That which in mean men we entitle patience is pale, cold cowardice in noble breasts. What shall I say? To safeguard thine own life, the best way is to venge my Gloucester's death.
In reference to Shakespeare's birthday, I will be doing Act 1, Scene 3 of Hamlet, Polonius's addressing Laertes. Yet here, Laertes, aboard, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There. My blessings with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory. Look thou character, give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new hatched unfledged courage. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear'st that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure but reserve thy judgment, costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France, of the best rank and station, are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulleth the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee. Happy birthday, Bill.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Amanda Dolph and I grew up in Havre, so I've been in quite a few MAT plays throughout my high school years until I went away to college. I also did the MAT summer internship program a few summers ago, and that was a really great experience. I was home for a little bit this fall, and so I participated in the 24-hour play festival for the first time. And anytime I'm home for a break, I make sure to go see an MAT show. I will be doing a monologue from Love's Labour's Lost, Act 5, Scene 2, and will be playing the Princess of France. A time, methinks, too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, no, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness, and therefore this. If for my love, as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this shall you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of this world. There stay until the 12 celestial signs have brought about their annual reckoning. If this austere and sociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frosts and fasts, hard lodging and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, but that it bear this trial and last love, then at the end of the year, come challenge me by these deserts, and by this virgin palm now kissing thine, I will be thine. But till that instant, shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled to the other's heart.
Give your worship good morrow.
Good morrow, good wife.
Not so, and please your worship.
Oh, a good maid there.
I'll be sworn, as my mother was the first hour I was born.
I do believe the swearer. What with me?
Shall I vouchsafe your worship a word or two?
2,000, fair woman, and I'll vouchsafe thee the hearing.
There was one Mistress Ford, sir. I pray, come a little nearer this way. I myself dwell with Master Dr. Caius.
Well on. Mistress Ford, you say?
Your worship says very true. I pray your worship come a little nearer this way.
I warrant thee, nobody hears. Look, mine own people. Mine own people?
Are they so? Well, God bless them and make them his servants.
Well, Mistress Ford, what of her?
Why, sir, she's a good creature. Lord! Your worship's so wanton. Well, heaven forgive you and all of us, I pray.
Mistress Ford. Come, Mistress Ford.
Mary, this is the short and the long of it. You have brought her into such a canary zest, 'tis wonderful. The best courtier of them all, when the court lay at Windsor, could never have brought her to such canary. Yet there has been knights and lords and gentlemen with their coaches. I warrant you, coach after coach, letter after letter, gift after gift. Oh, smelling so sweetly, all musk and so rustling. I warned you, in silk and in gold, and in such elegant terms, and in such wine and sugar of the best and the fairest, that you would have won any woman's heart. And I warned you, they could never get an eye wink this morning of her. I had myself 20 angels this morning, but I defy all angels in any such sort, as they say, but in the way of honesty. And I warned you, they could never get her so much as a sip on a cup with the proudest of them all.
All right. That was awesome. So, guys, there were some of our Montana actors. We had first, that was Andy Daniel, who's also running our tech tonight. She's doing an awesome job. She's probably lost a lot of hair because she keeps trying to pull it out, but she is doing really, really good. Thank you, Andy. That was an awesome performance. Then we heard from Sam Stewart. Beard's looking great, Sam. Then we heard from Amanda Dolph. Beautiful. She was the nice long blonde there. And, of course, all the way from, was that from New Jersey? Was that from Jersey? Were you from Jersey? I couldn't tell. That was Angela Murray and Martin Hope. By the way, Angela is starring in Mamma Mia, which is coming soon. As soon as we can get this dumb virus thing lifted and get that theater back open, come see Mamma Mia. All right, enough of our advertising there. So let's see. Here we go. If you need time, let's see. We're going to have to figure out a winner for that last competition. So let's see. Our winner here. I got it. Came in. Mary Sue Davis. You're our winner. And apparently the only submission we had. You guys need to draw faster. Next time, maybe we should give you a little bit more prep time. You could have drawn it in anything, lipstick, blood, whatever you happen to have around. But hey, congratulations, Mary Sue. Now, next up, we have a Little Caesar and a lot of Henry and some much ado about nothing. It's coming from Havre, Texas, and California. So, although during our next segment, we have a lightning competition for those who aren't so artistic. So, your challenge is to post in the comments the best Shakespearean style insult that you can come up with. All right? You have until the end of our next segment. One of my favorite ones that he uses, and Grant even said one in his performances, is "You are an ass." Love that one. Anyways, you have until the end of our next segment, which will be concluded with the performances of Chris Torma and Hilary Bard. So good luck, and here we go.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped into the streets, and graves have yawned, and yield up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fought upon the clouds, in ranks and squadrons and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear.
Hi, my name's Michelle Edwards. I am coming to you from my makeshift home studio office in Houston, Texas. I was with the Montana Actors Theater between 2008 and 2010, Today I'm going to perform or attempt to perform a monologue from Henry VI, Part 3, the character of Margaret. What? Was't you that would be England's king? Was't you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George? And where's that valiant crookback prodigy Dicky, your boy, who with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy, and if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. I prithee grieve to make me merry, York. What? Hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad, and I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York! And lords, bow low to him. Hold you his hands whilst I do set it on.
Hello, my name's T.C. Knudsen, and you might know me from MAT's production of 39 Steps. Today I will be performing an excerpt from Henry VIII, Act 5, Scene 1. Know you not how your state stands in the world? With the whole world? Your enemies are many, and not small. Their practices must bear the same proportion, and not ever the justice and the truth of the question carries the due of the verdict with it. At what ease might corrupt minds procure knaves as corrupt to swear against you? Such things have been done. You are potently opposed, and with a malice of as great size. Ween you of better luck, I mean, in perjured witness, than your master, whose minister you are, whilst here he liveth upon this naughty earth. Go to, you take a precipice for no leap of danger, and woo your own destruction.
Hi, my name is Jeff Medley. I live in Missoula, Montana. I have been a part of MAT's production of Rocky Horror Show since 2009. Grant Olson has asked me to read a little section of Two Gentlemen of Verona. I'm unfamiliar with the play. I haven't read a lot of Shakespeare. Sorry, theater people. I think it's where Lance... Well, I know it is. It's about Lance. It's Lance talking to his dog, Crab. I'll have to read it sometime, this play. Here we go. When a man's servant shall play the cur with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it, I have taught him, even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master, and I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher, and steals her capon's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon him to be a dog indeed, to be, as it were, a dog at all things. If I had not had more wit than he to take a fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for it. Sure as I live, he had suffered for it. You shall judge. He thrusts me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark, a pissing while, but all the chamber smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. Whip him out, says the third. Hang him up, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was Crab, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Ay, marry, do I, quoth he. You do him the more wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I did the thing, you what of? He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Nay, I'll be sworn, I have sat in the stocks for puddings he hath stolen, otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed, otherwise he had suffered for it. Thou thinkest not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madam Sylvia. Did not I bid thee still mark me and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick?
Well, hello there. I'm Mark Seahose, all the way from beautiful Hudsonville, Michigan, next to the Great Lake, Michigan. We're outside in this brisk air, and I'm going to read to you, from Winter's Tales, Act 3, Scene 3. I'll be the old shepherd. Nay, would there were no age between 16, 3, and 20, or that youth would sleep out the rest. For there is nothing in between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancient tree, stealing, fighting. Hark you now, would any but those boiled brains of 19 and 2 and 20 hunt this weather? They have scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will sooner find than the master. If anywhere I have them, 'tis by the seaside, browsing of ivy. Good luck! And it be thy will. What have we here? Mercy's awns, a barn, a very pretty barn. A boy or a child, I wonder. Aye, pretty one, a very pretty one. Sure, some scape, though I am not bookish, yet I can read waiting gentlewoman in the scape. This has been some stair work, some trunk work, some behind door work. They were warmer that got this, and the poor thing is here. I'll take it up for pity, yet I will tarry till my son come. He hallooed, but even now, whoa!
All right. Thank you. That was live. That was Mark Seahose live from Michigan. Mark, we miss you. We miss your fuzzy little mustache. And looks like you're missing it too, because I didn't see it on that cute little face of yours. I miss you, bud. So that we want to give again shout outs there. That was let's see, we had Katie Evans. That was Mike Zook there, squished in the middle. Jeff, amazing performance there from that play you haven't read. And again, that was live, Mark Seahose from Michigan. So before we get going again, we're going to have a little bit more of our Montana actors coming up here. We have our next lightning competition. So to announce that, let's bring on again Mr. William Shakespeare.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate being here this evening. Your challenge is now to create the best spontaneous Shakespearean costume. Mine
created, as you see here, by Ms. Angela Pratt. She did a wonderful job, don't you think so? Yes. Well, we want you to use towels and for capes or aprons and you can use, we need to look for crowns. You can use anything you want. Party hats, anything you can find around. We want to see your prom tiara, maybe your princess hats. We want your bed sheets and togas. We have until, or you rather, have until the end of Reed Reimer's performance to submit your entry. Happy costuming. Now, let's see. Do we have a winner yet from our last one? Looking for the results. We have, is that Brighthemmer's Kids with the insults with "Thou art barbaric and sheep biting in ways even serpents are not." Although we had some awesome seconds, so we really appreciate you guys. So that was pretty awesome. Congratulations. And here we go into our next segments. So take her away.
Tell me how. Art thou not horribly afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill at it?
Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life.
Ooh, shall I? Content. Well, this chair shall be my state. This dagger my scepter. And, this hat my crown.
Thy state is taken for a joined stool, thy golden scepter for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown.
Oh my, well, and the fire of grace be not quite out of thee. Now shalt that be moved. Give me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red, that it may be thought I have wept. For I must speak in passion, and I will do it in King Cambyses' vein.
Well, here's my leg.
And here is my speech. Stand aside, nobility.
Why, what a rascal art thou then?
Oh, peace, good pint pot. Peace, good tickle braid. Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest thy time, but how thou art accompanied. For though the chamomile, the more it is trodden on, the faster it grows. Yet youth, the more it is wasted, the sooner it wears. Thou art my son. I have partly thy mother's word, partly my own opinion, but chiefly a villainous trick of thine eye, and a foolish hanging of thy nether lip. Thou dost warrant me. If then thou be son to me, here lies the point. Why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? Shall the blessed Son of Heaven prove a micker and eat blackberries? A question not to be asked. Shall the Son of England prove a thief and take purses? A question to be asked. There is a thing, Harry, which thou hast often heard of, and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, as ancient writers do report, doth defile. So doth the company thou keepest. For Harry, now I do not speak to thee in drink, but in tears, not in pleasure, but in passion, not in words only, but in woes also. And yet there is a virtuous man whom I have often noted in thy company, but I know not his name.
What manner of man? And it like your majesty?
Oh, a good portly man, i' faith, and a corpulent, of a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and most noble carriage, and as I think his age some 50, or by our lady, inclining more to 60. And now I remember me. His name is Falstaff. Ah! If that man should be lewdly given, he deceiveth me. For Harry, I see virtue in his looks. If then the tree may be known by the fruit as the fruit by the tree, then peremptorily I speak it. There is virtue in Falstaff. Him keep with, the rest banish. And tell me, thou naughty varlet, tell me, where hast thou been this month?
Dost thou speak like a king? Now stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Ooh, depose me? If thou does it half so gravely, so majestically, both in word and matter, hang me up by the heels for a rabbit sucker or a poulter's hair.
Well, here. I am set.
Ah, and here I stand. Judge, my masters.
Now, Harry, whence come you?
Oh, my noble lord, from Eastcheap.
The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
Blood, my lord, they are false. I'll tickle ye for young prince, i' faith.
Swearest thou, ungracious boy? Henceforth never look on me. Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is a devil haunts thee in the likeness of an old fat man. A ton of man is thy companion. Why dost thou converse with that trunk of humors, that bolting hutch of beastliness, that swollen parcel of dropsies, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag of guts, that roasted Manning tree ox with the pudding in his belly, that reverend vice, that gray iniquity, that father ruffian, that vanity in years. Wherein is he good, but to taste sack and drink it? Wherein neat and cleanly, but to carve a capon and eat it? Wherein cunning, but in craft? Wherein crafty, but in villainy? Wherein villainous, but in all things? Wherein worthy, but in nothing?
Oh, I would your grace take me with you. Who means your grace?
That villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff! That old white-bearded Satan.
My lord, the man I know.
I know thou dost.
Oh, but to say I know more harm in him than in myself, or to say more than I know, that he is old, the more the pity, his white hairs do witness it. But there he is, saving your reverence. A whore, master. By that I utterly deny. If sack and sugar be a fault, God help the wicked. If to be old and merry be a sin, then many an old host that I know is damned. If to be fat, to be hated, then Pharaoh's lean kine are to be loved. No more, my good lord. Banish Peto, banish Bardolph, banish Poins. But for sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and therefore more valiant, being as he is old Jack Falstaff. Banish not him thy Harry's company. Barry, banish not him thy Harry's company. Banish plump Jack, and banish all the world.
I do. I will.
My gentle Puck, come hither. Thou rememberest since once I sat on a promontory, and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath that the rude sea grew civil at her song, and certain stars shot madly from their spheres to hear the sea maid's music? At that very time I saw, but thou couldst not, flying between the cold moon and the earth, Cupid all armed. A certain aim he took at a fair vestal throned by the west, and loosed his love shaft smartly from his bow, as it should pierce 100,000 hearts. Yet I might see young Cupid's fiery shaft quenched by the chaste beams of the watery moon, and the imperial votress pass it on, in maiden meditation, fancy-free. Yet marked I where the bolt of Cupid fell. It fell upon a little western flower, before milk white, now purple with love's wound, and maidens call it love in idleness. Fetch me this flower, this herb I shewed thee once, for the juice of it on sleeping eyelids laid will make or man or woman madly dote on the next live creature that it sees. Fetch me this herb, and be thou here again ere the Leviathan can swim a league.
As you can see, the deep dark of the castle behind me, and as it is time for being able to get a costume from anywhere in the house, turns out a blanket can do to turn somebody into a dark, menacing figure. And now I present to you Measure for Measure, Act 4, Scene 4. This deed unshapes me quite, makes me unpregnant and dull to all proceedings. A deflowered maid, and by an eminent body that enforced the law against it. But that her tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden's loss. How might she tongue me? Yet reason dares her no, for my authority bears of a credent bulk that no particular scandal once can touch, but it confounds the breather. He should have lived, save that riotous youth with dangerous sense might in the times to come have taken revenge by so receiving a dishonored life with ransom of such shame. Would yet he had lived. Alack, when once our grace we might have forgot, nothing goes right. We would, and we would not.
All right. That was some really good stuff. Look, that was Mitch Levine coming to us all the way from LA and RJ Cycling. So wonderful stuff. Mitch was up here directing God Help Us with Ed Asner. And also there was some other guy in there, and then Kate Hagen also starring in that one. And some other guy, I can't remember who his name just kind of escapes me at the moment. But hey, that was some pretty good stuff, guys. Hey, moving along here, we're gonna come up with a winner here as soon as we can. But man, creative stuff going out. Appreciate all this live junk coming out from LA. That was also, again, big hands to Paul, also down there in LA. Wonderful job, man. Hey, we're gonna move on. We have some kings, some merchants coming up next, and ending this segment again with Paul joining us again live in LA. So here we go on to Mr. Joe Ewell.
Ready? Yeah. I'm Joe Ewell. I used to work with Grant and all, and
MAT for quite a few years. Have not done so for quite a few other years. But Grant's talked me into helping out with Shakespeare's birthday. So I'm going to read from scene Act 3, Scene 2. Blow, winds, and crack your cheeks. Rage, blow, you cataracts and hurricanes spout till you've drenched our steeples, drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers of oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head. And thou all-shaking thunder, strike flat the thick rotundity of the world. Crack nature's mold, all Germans spill at once that makes an ungrateful man. Rumble thy belly full, spit fire, spout rain. No rain, wind, thunder, fire, my daughters. I tax not you, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers, that will with two pernicious daughters join your high-engendered battles against a head so old and white as this. Oh, 'tis foul.
Hello, my name is Richard Leeds. Throughout high school, I acted and performed tech in various MAT plays. I currently reside in Billings, Montana. This evening, I'll be presenting a monologue as Lancelot Gobbo from The Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 2. Certainly, my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. The fiend is at mine elbow and tempts me, saying, Gobbo, Lancelot Gobbo, good Lancelot, or good Gobbo, or good Lancelot Gobbo. Use your legs, take the start, run away. My conscience says to me, no, take heed, honest Lancelot, take heed, honest Gobbo, or, as aforementioned, honest Lancelot Gobbo. Do not run, scorn running with your heels. The most courageous fiend bids me pack. Thy, says the fiend, away, says the fiend. For the heavens, rouse up some brave mind, says the fiend, and run. My conscience, hanging about the neck of my heart, says very wisely to me, my honest friend Lancelot, being born of an honest man, or rather an honest woman, for my father did something smack, something grow too, well, he had a kind of taste. Well, my conscience says, Lancelot, budge not. Budge, says the fiend. Budge not, says the conscience. Conscience, say I, you counsel well. Fiend, say I, you counsel well. To be ruled by my conscience, I should stay with the Jew, my master, who, by God's mark, is a kind of devil. And to run from the Jew, I should be ruled by the fiend, who, well, saving your reverence, is the devil himself. Well, certainly, the Jew is the very devil incarnate. And by my conscience is a kind of hard conscience. To offer to counsel me to stay with the Jew. The fiend offers the friendlier counsel. I will run, fiend. My heels are at your command. I will run. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kate Hagan. I've been involved with MAT for about 6 years as an actor, director, and costumer. I'm coming to you this evening from my kitchen table, very glamorous spot. I will be reciting Imogen's monologue from Cymbeline, Act 3, Scene 4. Why? I must die, and if I do not by thy hand, thou art no servant of thy master's. Against self-slaughter there is a prohibition so divine that cravens my weak hand. Come, here's my heart. Something's afore it. Soft, soft, will no defence. Obedient is the scabbard. What is here? The scriptures of the loyal Leonatus. All turn to heresy. Away, away, corrupters of my faith! You shall no more be stomachers to my heart. Thus may poor fools believe false teachers. Though those that are betrayed do feel the treason sharply, yet the traitor stands in worse case of woe. And thou, Posthumus, that didst set up my disobedience against the king my father, and make me put into contempt the suits of princely fellows, shalt hereafter find it is no act of common passage, but a strain of rareness. And I grieve myself to think, when thou shalt be disedged by her that now thou tirest on, how thy memory will then be panged by me. Prithee dispatch. The lamb entreats the butcher. Where's thy knife? Thou art too slow to do thy master's bidding when I desire it too.
This is the beginning of Pericles, and I hope you all enjoy. See where she comes. Apparelled like the spring, graces her subjects and her thoughts. The kings of every virtue gives renown to men. Her face the book of praises, where is read nothing but curious pleasures, and from thrice sorrow were ever raised, and testy wrath could never be her mild complexion. You gods that made me man, and swain love that
Hello,
have inflamed
I'm
desire in my
Wakimoto,
breast
and
to taste the fruit of yon celestial tree, or die in the adventure. Be my helps, as I am son and servant to your will, to compass such a boundless happiness. Thank you.
All right. That was awesome. Thanks, Paul. Love these live performances. It's awesome to have you guys on here. Paul's out there in LA and hopefully hitting it hard, buddy. Looking good. That was awesome. Hey, look, we got a winner. We got a winner to announce. Winner of the costume contest. You can see these costumes pasted on our Facebook page. And the winner we're going to say is Brian Gregorio. He's the winner. Or Greg, is it what? Is it Gregoire or Gregorio? I don't know. It says Gregorio on my little thing there. Did I say that wrong?
It's
Brian's
Gregoire.
laughing at me. Anyways, that is the winner, and you know who you are. I apologize for slaughtering anybody's name. I hope you're not taking any offense. He's giving me the thumbs up. So good. We're all good. We're all good. So, hey, moving on here. Look, looks like we've got another excellent lightning competition at you, coming at you here. Your challenge is to make the best emoji interpretation of one of the next 4 scenes that you're going to see. So you get 1 per entry per human. You got 1 entry per human. So whatever emoji interpretation you can make, go ahead and post that in the comments or send it to our messenger or post it on our Facebook page. But anyways, so coming up next here, we're going to have a little bit of Romeo and Juliet. This is from another actor here, Whitney Yakimoto, coming out of Los Angeles. Then we're going to hear some more from Raker Wilson out of LA, followed by a wonderful couple that you're just going to love. You're just going to love them. You're going to love them. And after that, we're going to hear a little bit from Tom Dickens. and he's coming all the way from the land down under. Here we go. Take it away.
Hello, I am Whitney Wakimoto, and I was born and raised in Missoula, Montana, and I will be doing Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. And so Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
Hi, my name's Rager Wilson. I'm a Montana born and raised actor based out of Los Angeles, and I'll be performing Henry V, Act 3, Scene 1. Once more, unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. We'll close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. To lend the eye a terrible aspect, that pry through the portage of the head like a brass cannon, that the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth the galled rock o'erhang in Jutty's confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now, set teeth, stretch the nostrils wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers war-proofed, fathers who, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought, and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copied to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slip, straining at the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George.
Good morrow, Kate. For that's your name, I hear.
Well have you heard? Something hard of hearing. They call me Katharina that do talk of me.
You lie in faith, for you are called plain Kate. A bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate. For dainties are all Kates, and therefore Kate. Take this of me, Kate of my consolation. Hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtue spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, yet not so deeply as to thee belongs, but myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Oh, moved! Oh, in good time. Let him that moved you hither move you hence. I knew you at first. You were immovable.
Why, what's a movable?
A jointed stool.
Oh, thou hast hit it. Come sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Yes, well, women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if you mean me.
Yes, well, alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but a young and light...
Too light for such a swain as you to catch. As yet, and yet as heavy as I should be.
Should be? Should buzz.
Ah, well taken like a buzzard.
Oh, thou slow-winded turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
I for a turtle, and as he takes a buzzard.
No, come, ye wasp. If you are too angry, in faith, you are way too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is to pluck it out.
Aye, if the fool could find out where it lies.
Now, who knows where a wasp does keep his sting, but in his tail!
In his tongue?
Oh, whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails.
Wait.
So farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, good Kate, I am a gentleman.
Oh, that I'll try.
I swear I'll cuff you if you strike again.
So may you lose your arms. If you strike me, you're no gentleman.
Well...
And no gentleman with no arms.
A herald, Kate? Oh, put me in thy books.
Oh, what is your crest? A cock's comb?
A combless cock. And Kate will be my hen.
No cock of mine. You crow too like a crane.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
It is my fashion when I see a crab.
Oh, well, then here's no crab, and therefore look not so.
There is. There is.
Well, then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
We're done.
Hi, my name's Tom Dickens. I am videoing in from Friarstown, which is a tiny little town in Victoria in Australia. My ties to Montana run long and deep. I studied acting for 6 months at the Uni of Montana in Missoula in 2005, and then came back again in 2007, and then back again in 2011. It's a beautiful part of the world, and I miss it dearly. Today, I have the honour of playing Philip the Bastard in King John, Shakespeare's most famous play that I knew heaps about before today. Definitely. This is from Act 1, Scene 1. A foot of honour better than I was, but many a foot of land the worse. Well, now can I make any Joan a lady? Good den, Sir Richard, good mercy, fellow. And if his name be George, I'll call him Peter, for new-made honour doth forget men's names. 'Tis too respective and too sociable for your conversion. Now your traveller, he and his toothpick at my worship's mess. When my nightly stomach is sufficed, why then I suck my teeth and catechize my picked man of countries. My dear sir, thus leaning on mine elbow I begin, I shall beseech you. That is question now. And then comes the answer like an ABC book. Oh, sir, says answer, At your best command, at your employment, at your service, sir. No, sir, says Question. I, sweet sir, at yours. And so Answer knows what Question would, saving in dialogue of compliment and talking of Alps and Apennines, the Pyrenean and the River Po. It draws towards supper in conclusion, so... But this is worshipful society, and fits the mounting spirit like myself, for he is but a bastard to the time that doth not smack of observation. And so am I, whether I smack or no, and not alone in habit or device, exterior form, outward accoutrement, but from inward motion to deliver sweet, sweet, sweet poison for the age's tooth, which, though I will not practice to deceive, yet to avoid deceit I mean to learn, for it shall strew the footsteps of my rising. But who comes in such haste in riding robes? What woman post is this? Hath she no husband that will take pains to blow a horn before her? To be continued.
Well, that is wonderful, I must say. Hey, didn't you think that one gentleman being so rude to that lady was quite familiar? Yes, I think I've seen him somewhere before. Haven't you?
Once.
Well, we will be announcing winners here shortly, but I have a hunch that we're going to need a minute to reinterpret all of your emojis, and stay tuned for our emoji winner. In our next segment, we have 4 talented performers for you, joining us from Montana, Arizona, Washington, are Serena Hart, Katie Burke, Pam Weiss, and Michael Butterworth. But before we go to them, let me just say thank you for all that have been in tonight. I wanted to give a special shout out to Paul. He is going to be seen on Penny Dreadful soon, and was seen last week on The Rookie on ABC. So congratulations to you, Paul. Now, on to our next.
Hello, my name is Serena Hart in Whitefish, Montana, and I'm an actor with Montana Actors Theater. And for the Bard's birthday, I will be doing a monologue from Act 2, Scene 3 of Titus Andronicus, playing the part of Aaron. Happy birthday, Bard. Madam, though Venus governs your desires, Saturn is dominator over mine. What signifies my deadly darkening eye? My silence, my cloudy melancholy, my fleece of woolly hair that now uncurls even as the otter doth unroll to do her fatal execution. No, madam, these are no venereal designs. Vengeance is in my heart. Death is in my hand, and blood and revenge hammering in my head. Hark, Tamora, Empress of my soul, which hopes for no more heaven than rests in thee. This is the day of doom for Basinius. His Philomel must lose her tongue tonight. Thy sons bank pillage of her chastity, and they wash their hands in Basinius's blood. Seest thou this letter? Take it up, I pray thee, and give to the king this fatal plotted scroll. Question me no more. We are espied. Here comes a parcel of our hopeful booty, which dreads not yet their lives' destruction.
Dauphin, I am by birth a shepherd's daughter.
my wit untrained in any kind of art. Heaven and Our Lady gracious hath it pleased to shine on my contemptible estate. Lo, whilst I waited on my tender lambs, and 2 suns' parching heat displayed my cheeks, God's mother deigned appear to me, and in a vision full of majesty, willed me to leave my base vocation and free my country from calamity. Her aid she promised and assured success. In complete glory she revealed herself. And whereas I was black and swart before, with those clear rays from which she infused on me, that beauty I am blessed with which you see. Ask me what thou canst possible, and I will answer unpremeditated. My courage try by combat if thou darest, and thou shalt see that I exceed my sex. Resolve on this, thou shalt be fortunate if thou receive me as thy warlike mate.
I'm Jay Pyatt, and I've been with MAT since the beginning. This is Act 1, Scene 1 of Richard III. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the sun of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass. I, that am rudely stamped, and want love's majesty to strut before a wanton ambling nymph. I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why, I, in this weak and piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to see my shadow in the sun, and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasures of these days.
Hello, my name is Michael Butterworth, and I'm connected to MAT through the 2009 production of Dead Men's Cell Phone in Missoula. Here is my short film, Don't Trust Time, based on some lines from Troilus and Cressida. Time hath, my lord, a wallet at its back, wherein he puts alms for oblivion, a great-sized monster of ingratitudes. Those scraps are good deeds past, which are devoured as fast as they are made, forgot as soon as done. Perseverance, dear my lord, keeps honor bright. To have done is to hang quite out of fashion like a rusty mail in monumental mockery. Oh, let not virtue seek remuneration for the thing it was. For beauty, wit, high birth, vigor of bone, desert and service, love, friendship, charity, are all subjects all to envious and calumniating time. Happy birthday, Shakespeare!
All right. So here we go. We got to announce the winner of our last emoji challenge, and that was Dominic or Kobe Pre-Putton with their Romeo and Juliet emoji summary. Congratulations. Looks like we're starting to wind down here. We got a few more performances left. So we're going to announce our last challenge here. So our very last challenge of the night is to come up with your best fake Shakespeare fact that you can. So you got to give me a fact about Shakespeare that is absolutely 100% not true. All right? It needs to be absurd. It needs to be ridiculous. And most importantly, it needs to be fake. You have until the end of these segments to get everything submitted in here. So here we go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian. I'm coming to you from Missoula. I have worked with MAT for many, many years, all the way back as far as 1998. And so I'm going to do a piece, some verse that I put together from Coriolanus. Amen, sir, to my poor unworthy notice. He mocked us when he begged our voices. Certainly he flouted us downright. Did you perceive he did solicit you in free contempt when he did need your loves? And do you think that his contempt shall not be bruising to you when he hath the power to crush? Why, had your bodies no heart among you? Or had you tongues to cry against the rectorship of judgment? Get you hence instantly and tell those friends they have chose a consul that will take their liberties, make them of no more voice than dogs that are as often beat for barking and therefore kept to do so. Let them go on. This mutiny were better put in hazard than stay past doubt or greater. If, as his nature is, he fall in rage with their refusal, both observe and answer the vantage of his anger. Let them assemble, and on a safer judgment, all revoke your ignorant election, enforce his pride and his old hate unto you. Besides, forget not with what contempt he wore the humble weed. How in his suit he scorned you, but your love, thinking upon his services, took from you the apprehension of his present portents, which most gimminly, ungravely, he did fashion after the invertebrate hate he bears you.
All right. And we are back again. Look, amazing performances. I want to say thank you to everybody. I know there's a few of you that we didn't get announced properly in there. Let's see. One of them was Katie Burke. She did the Henry VI Part 1 and the Joan of Arc. She was up here as an intern. And so we appreciate her and her contribution tonight and all the contributions of everybody else. where's my Shakespeare, I believe we got some sonnets and things. He didn't just write plays, but some sonnets. And so we're going to hear a few of those coming up. Once we get through that, we're just about done with the evening. So make sure that you're finishing up all of our challenges and get them posted. You can see follow-ups on everything and who won what. And the best costumes and all that is going to be posted on our Facebook page, so don't miss that. With Shakespeare, he wasn't all about the plays. He had some sonnets too. So coming up here, we got Brian Gregoire, we got Tashia Gates in Montana, and we got Terrellin all the way from South Carolina. So good luck to you guys. We'll see you in a few minutes, and this is going to be one of our last segments, so hold on and get ready. Here's a little bit more about the bard and his sonnets.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Hi, my name is Terrellin Ryder. When I was living in Missoula, Montana, I was known as Terrellin Tanner. I earned my MFA from the University of Montana in 2009, and in the 3 years that I worked and studied there, I got to see a lot of productions by MAT, even got to participate in a few, my favorite being Dead Man's Cell Phone, directed by the incredible Dr. Butterworth. So today for Shakespeare's birthday, I decided to share a sonnet, one of my favorites. It's Sonnet 90. Instead of doing a reading, I thought I would do more of an interpretive performance of it. So here goes, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay. Then hate me if thou wilt, if ever now, while the world is bent my deeds to cross. Oh, join with the spite of fortune, make me bow. But do not drop in for after loss. Do not. When my heart has scaped this sorrow, come in the rearward of a conquered woe. Give not a windy night, a rainy morrow, to linger out of purposed overthrow. But if thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done their spite. But in the onset come, so shall I feel the very worst of fortune's might. And the other strains of woe, which now seem woe, compared to the loss of thee, will not seem so. Thank you, Sonnet 90 by Terrellin Ryder. I hope you enjoyed it. My hair looks fun.
Folks, we've come almost to the end. We got one more segment left for you. I want to start announcing. We'll announce all of our winners again at the end, and you'll see them all posted on our Facebook page. But before we get to everything else, I want to turn some time over to our artistic director for Montana Actors Theater, Mr. Grant Olson.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Right now, you've seen 34 or 35 of Shakespeare's 37 plays. So we've got two left of new plays and one last goodbye from Shakespeare coming up. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of the actors who performed live. Brian Gregoire, Mark Sehos, Paul Cherico, Rye Pratt, and Sam French. They stayed on and sat with us and played live with us. Everybody else who recorded things, interesting backgrounds, great bits of Shakespeare. We've seen one section from almost every bit of Shakespeare, and by the end of the night, we'll have seen one from every bit of Shakespeare, including Henry VIII, which is not often performed. Coming up, though, the very next thing we have is very dear to my heart. My first drama school at high school, Mr. John Musgrove, made us all memorize a monologue from the Scottish play. And he agreed to go ahead and give us that monologue tonight. So John Musgrove will be playing the title character from the Scottish play. I'm not going to curse us right now since we've been doing so well so far. And again, just one last big thank you to Morgan Evans Lamayasva and Andy Daniel, who did all of the backstage work. They have been amazing to make this work. This was an insane idea. We started yesterday afternoon putting this together, and they did it. So thank you. And John, go ahead and take it away.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day till the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
My name is Chad Zelke. You may recognize me from my last MAT performance, The Glass Menagerie. I will be performing a monologue from the play The Tempest, written by William Shakespeare, Act 4, Scene 1, as Prospero. Thank you.
Cheer up. Our revels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, were all but spirits, and have melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind, for we are stuff that dreams are made on, and our little lives are rounded with a sleep. Forgive me, sir, for I am vexed. My old brain is troubled. Forgive my infirmity. If you do so, please retire into my cell and there repose. A turn or two I will walk, to ease my beating mind.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here when these visions did appear. And this weekend idle theme, no more yielding, but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest puck, if we have honored luck. Now, to scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. Else the puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
Hey, we want to say thank you to everybody who participated tonight. This has been a great evening. I want to announce the winner of our last contest. That's the false fact contest. That was Richard Leeds. Congratulations, Richard. All you actors, you did a wonderful job. This was, again, thrown together so quickly. Big shout outs to Morgan and Andy for doing all the behind the scenes work. These guys have really pulled through for us. Thank you, Grant, for your inspiration. Thank you, Montana Actors Theater, for being able to support us in all of our arts. And we want to say thank you to William Shakespeare. We had a, yes, go ahead, wave, Bill. There you go. We had a great time this evening. Did you have a good time? Why, yes, I did. Thank you very much. Well, I just want to say happy birthday. Wish I had a cake for you, but maybe next time. What do you say? Hey, again, thanks for joining us, and have a great evening. Goodbye.